You are listening to the National Radio edition of Mr. Muhammad Speaks. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the principal speaker. Tonight's broadcast is a continuation of a broadcast from last week. For more of the life-giving and life-saving words of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, be sure to have your copy of Muhammad Speak newspaper. You may subscribe to this newspaper by sending $1.80 to 5333 South Greenwood Avenue, Chicago 15, Illinois. You will receive 12 issues of Muhammad Speak newspaper. Now, we have the honor of presenting to you the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Messenger of Allah.
This you are getting well acquainted to, but you are afraid to speak the truth of it because you love your life. I say, I love the truth. I love God, whose proper name is Allah. My life, if He keep it for me or preserve it or protect it for me, I will thank Him for it. If He will it to the enemies, to take it away and destroy it, I still say all praise is due to Allah, and whatever He wills is my will. I believe in whatever He wills is for the good. And so I have no thought over whether or not that I will be saved or see the hereafter or not. The only thought that I have in mind is to deliver to you the truth, and I do know the truth will save you if you believe in it. I do know the author of truth is able to save and protect his people who believe in the truth. You see today how that we are fought against. The whole armies of the police force, the FBI force, all lurking around us as though that we are armed forces, or we are foreign enemies that has entered into the country to overthrow it by force, all to frighten you away from the knowledge of truth. If we were so bad, if we were so dangerous as they point us out to be, if what we are saying is so terrible and dangerous to fall in the ears of the people, why don't they take us up before you? Why don't they take me and tell me to prove the truth that I'm teaching? No, they know I can prove it. Why are they mad and angry at what I'm teaching? I'm not interfering with them. I'm after you. I'm teaching you. I'm preaching to you. I'm not teaching and preaching them. Why are they angry? If they don't give a happy for you and has proven that for 400 years by the continuous enslavement that they keep you in, and the brutality that you suffer among them day and night, and the lynchings and burnings that you have suffered, I say, why don't they themselves prove to you that what I'm teaching is not true? Not say, going around classifying it as subversive and a violence, and that we are a violent people and seekers to destroy the government by force, who are going unarmed and who have proven ourselves as being better people than the average in America. We have obeyed their own Christian laws of what thou shalt not do more than they themselves who profess Christianity. We does not kill, does not seek to kill. We does not even carry arms. This is what you call a peaceful people. We don't say peace and is over shopping swords and building awesome plants. We doesn't say peace with a machine gun in our hand. No. We say peace. And we prove that we are at peace with you and ourselves and with the God of peace. Excuse my coughing. By not carrying arms nor align arms even in our meeting places. But yet we are charged with being subversive people, charged with seeking to overthrow the government by force, charged with being a dangerous people, charged with non-religious people. We are not religious people, but a band or a group of people that has now united to cause destruction by force in America, and that we deserve watching. This you read daily in the paper. What is all of this propaganda against Elijah and his followers for? Nothing but to stop the Negroes, or try to stop the Negroes from believing in the truth that God has revealed to Elijah. This is all it's for, to frighten the Negroes with a carload of FBI's police is sitting around the meeting places watching and walking up to the visitors and to my followers, question them. Have you been there? Do you follow that? You had better stay away from there. We're going to blow it up. And all of this to put fear into you, to keep you from coming to your God and to your own salvation, which you are absolutely active as faithful people and may suffer the consequence which the revelation of your Bible teaches you. Those who had the name and the mark of the beast and who feared to accept the truth went down with the beast and his false prophets in a lake of fire and brimstone. My beloved brothers and sisters of the darker people of America, this will be your fate in the way that you are going. You see us in your midst. You see us trying our utmost to be righteous people and do the thing that's righteous. We're trying to live at peace with you and even with peace with our enemies. We do no harm to no one, but nevertheless we are classified as the worst people in America. This is also to show you, my so-called American Negro people, that the white man actually don't want the Negro to be united. He don't want the Negro to live in peace. He don't want the Negroes to be respected. He don't want the Negroes to be befriended by their own people from abroad. He don't want the Negroes to accept anything but that which they give him, and that which they teach him, that which they offer him, will ever bind them to them as free slaves. He's not offering you anything but more slavery. Frighten you away from the truth. Make the truth appear to be something that you shouldn't dare listen to. Threaten you on your jobs to deprive you of employment if you believe in the truth that Elijah Muhammad is teaching. But I said to you, my friend, all of this is to try you, and that they know. The FBI and the police department knows that this is only trial for you. They know as well as I know that this is good for you. But if you be a fool to get afraid of their presence coming around you and their question of your belief in it, that will run you away, you will be the loser, and they will have the laugh on you one of these days. That they know. I am not teaching you anything that the government could charge me with before their own courts of justice as subversive or as a teachings of overthrowing the government by force. This all I can truly defend before any of their court that we are not doing no such, and for 30 years in their midst, I have never resorted, nor my followers, to any violence act. We never has teached anything like that. I lived in Detroit for 10 years. I have been here since 19, and 34 in Chicago. And all of these years, they know that I have never taught my followers to disobey their laws or to even attack them. That have never been taught among us. I have always taught my lawyers, my followers, to respect them and to obey their laws, and they have found my followers to be very peaceful in their midst. But today, the truth of what Elijah is teaching is coming to pass, and they hopes that the Negroes will not accept it, because it will unite the Negroes and will give to the Negroes a future, wherein the preachings of Christianity and that religion will not give the so-called American Negroes a future in life. It only teaches them to go to their grave and hope that they will be risen again out of the earth and go somewhere to heaven or hell, while both heaven and hell is a condition of life and not after the grave. No, sir. Heaven is here in this life, and hell is also in your life. And when you die, that settles it all. There is no such thing as a life after the man is gone into his grave. If you believe so, prove it. If you have any proof of it, prove it. There is no proof that any man ever comes out of the grave, and we had this earth for billions and for trillions of years, and the people has been dying on it and being born on it ever since that it was created. Back into the trillions of years, and not into thousands of years, but this earth can be proven, its history, that it has been here for billions and trillions of years, and no one never comes back that returns to the earth. That settles it all. We are made like that, and the law of nature is like that for you and I. The earth brings us forth, and the earth swallows us up. But there is no such thing that we cannot live longer than we are living. But these things will come about later. But what we are after today, it is freedom, justice, and equality for our people. And the only religion and the only God will give the so-called American Negro freedom, justice, and equality is Allah and the religion of Islam. That's the only way that the Negro of America ever will get freedom, justice, and equality. The so-called pacifier that is now planned to be given to the so-called American Negro under integration is not giving the American Negro anything for his future. He's not being offered any earth. He's only being offered a social thing that will destroy the lifeblood of his whole entire race in America. In a few years, he will be swallowed completely up by the white man of America in a so-called social equality. That social equality, integration for the Negro to intermarry with the white, will destroy the Negro from the face of America. That's exactly what it is. And the educators of the Negro, the preachers of the Negroes, who will side in with such slaughter and destruction of their race, is not worthy to be called a member of the darker people. It is a destruction of us. I preach separation, not the form of segregation that you has been used to. But separation means setting aside that independently to itself, not segregation under the rule and laws of the enemy. But separation is independent to self. That is what God and Elijah Muhammad want to see come to our people. And I'm not after anything that belongs to the white man. I'm not seeking to take his country. I'm just only asking if you will not allow us to go to our own people and to our own country, as you are ever on the rampage to try to prevent us from getting that which will permit us to go back to our own people and country, which is Islam. Then, again, second, if you are not willing to give us justice, freedom, and equal, along with yourself in America, then set aside a certain part of your country, put us over there in it to ourselves. This will ease the headache of the southern white people against the Negro trying to take his daughter or his, well, not his son, because he don't care nothing about his son destroying the Negro girl and woman. But he don't want the black man to enter his home with his daughter and his woman. Now, if you don't want sex, and you know that you have kept the Negro here for 400 years, you know that divine word and prophesy will come true one of these days. You know that God was coming after it. Why don't you try and show some act of justice towards them? That is, not to try to pacify them with patting them on the shoulders and offering them to marry with you or offering them to sit where you sit, but giving them not the seat, but just to sit on the seat with you that belongs to you. That means Americas, the land of Americas, the cities and towns of Americas. They all belong to you. Why not then, if you don't want to see him go, show God that you're willing to give him a place here side by side with you, since he have given all of his labor, sweat, and blood for your own independence and freedom for the last 400 years. Why not offer him a place here and take him out from the midst of you, whom you ever are scorning and ever has hated ever since you brought him here, ever has disrespected them as being a fit member for your society? Why not take him and say, here, Negroes, live over here in these states. I will help supply you with the things that is necessary to make a future for yourself, support you for the next 20 or 25 years to see if you will make something out of yourself. And if you attack, I will help you against the outside aggressor. And if I'm attacked, you help me because you and I are sharing in the same country. This is an act of justice for a master to his slave, according to your own Bible there. In the under the treatment of the slave given to Israel in the Exodus there, I think it is. Why, even if the slave master knock out the tooth of his slave, that means freedom. He should free the slave for even knocking out a teeth. Now, the day his head is knocked off, even under so-called freedom, and he's not yet free. He was killed, he was burned and lynched, and yet he's not a free man. He's yet under you as a slave. I say, why not take this poor man and give him up to go to his own God and to his own religion and to his own people and to his own country? If you don't want to share in your country with him, they can go. The world of Islam will make a place for them. Certainly, I repeat, the world of Islam will make a place for the so-called American Negro to come in as brethren and sisters among them. They will share their homes with them if they will believe in Allah and believe in his religion, Islam. Every one of the governments of Islam today in the Near and Far East, in the islands of the Pacific, will accept any Negro from Americas that profess Islam as his religion and Allah his God and Muhammad his prophet. Any of them will accept him. I know these for a fact. I have traveled over the Islamic world, and I know for my own self I was well received and honored in their midst. And I could have stayed there for as long as I live if I had wanted to. And I still have a home with them as long as I live if I want to. But I have a mission in America to teach freedom, justice, and equality to my people here, to help bring them out of the prison houses of slavery, blind, deaf, and dumb, to the knowledge of themselves. And I cannot fly into the homeland of the Muslim world from my people here and leave them yet blind, deaf, and dumb, without the knowledge of themselves, to suffer or be destroyed for the lack of knowledge, as the Bible teaches them, that they was destroyed for the lack of knowledge. I will not suffer that as long as I live. Regardless to your hatred and your threats made to me over telephone, that you want to come and kill me, blow me down, blow up my house and all like that. I received such threats from you. And as it was in Monroe on the 5th day of March, there you take the whole police force, the chief and the captain goes down to the peaceful assembly of my followers there, pounces upon them with the type of clubs that your fathers used in the days when they lived in the hills and cave sides of Europe to fight wild beasts of that continent from eating and destroying their families and their wives at night while they stayed up in trees to watch over them. These are the type of clubs that was brought to bash the brains out of my followers there in Monroe, just because that they are trying to unite, trying to be righteous in your midst, trying to go back to their own God and their own religion and be united with their own people, trying to live as peaceful people in your midst without resorting to anything like arms, have stripped themselves of even their pocket knives to show to you that they want to live at peace with you. You can't stand to see them acting as such in your midst. You want to make yourself manifest as God has declared that you would be made manifest, that you are not a lover of peace. You will not allow people to get along with you in peace. You are a troublemaker and has been a troublemaker, a bloodshedder ever since you've been on the planet for 6,000 years. You has been a troublemaker and a bloodshedder. And therefore, God has manifested you, and you cannot deny it. You today will pounce upon a peaceful black man walking the street just because you know that you have all the authorities and the powers over him here in your government. You uses the Negro and destroys him at will and denies justice to them in your coat. They goes down, burst in the back door of the little meeting house, pounces upon the brothers, begin to bash in their skulls with their heavy, rough clubs made for the purpose of bursting and bashing out the brains of Negroes, not for any others. Laid down their regular nightclubs. They were too light. Go and get regular beast-like clubs to carry to kill his poor Negro servants who has served you for 400 years peacefully and well, just that you call. The very minister there served for you in the last World War fought your enemies, tried to kill the man that you claim was your enemy. What is he receiving from it? He was the first one to be beaten on the highway a year ago by the police on the highway policeman, taking him out in the woods, beat him until his clothes was bloody and he was wounded, and then ran him out of the woods to the highway under the instruction to get you a bus and get out of here, and get out of here quick. All of this shows that there is no justice in America for the so-called Negroes. This man brings his bloody clothes to us in February the 26th, 1960, demonstrated them here at the Coliseum before the people, 4,000 people, goes back in the same month. 1 year later, his place of meeting was broken down by the whole police forces there and beaten again and thrown in an isolated cell in the prison and put on a $2,500 bond for the beatings that the police department gave him, charging him with jumping on the police force after they had broke in and tried to kill him and his followers. All of this, I say, is to prove to the American so-called Negro that Elijah's preaching of no justice for them in America stands true. And now fighting it in court to try to condemn them that they were the aggressor. My followers is never the aggressor. In the prison houses of America, where I have hundreds of followers throughout the land, they are even deprived of their own holy book, the Holy Quran, to read, because the white man don't want the Negro to ever accept the religion of Islam, nor does he want him to read the truth that is written in the Holy Quran, which will open the eyes of most any Negro if he have eyes to see. They don't want you with that book. They don't want you under that religion. So therefore, they are doing everything today to prevent the Negro from entering the religion of Islam and the truth that Elijah has received from God Almighty, that has come to him in these days and time. Both FBI and the police force are trying to frighten the Negro away from the truth so that they may not believe it and will meet their doom along with them for the evil that they even has done to the so-called American Negro. But I said to the clergymen and to the professional class of our people, your folding arms and sitting neutral in such condition as these are in America today against your own people is not getting you any credit at all, and you will be the loser in the hereafter. I thank you, as I say unto you, Assalamu alaikum.